not meant to hurt you. Don't call me Genie. Genie's not meant to hurt you. This is a movie show. Welcome to me talking about all the movies I've seen so far this year in cinemas. I'm gonna rank them down from worst to first. That's right. That's right, baby. Can you guess what's the worst movie I've seen this year? Hint, it's this fucking movie. Anyway, first things first, I'm gonna get my list of all the films I've got and I'm gonna talk to you why I should make a suggestion right off the bat. No movies I've seen so far this year have been terrible. Some films are just worse than other films. That's just how it works. Anyway, first things first. Let's talk about A Working Man. Okay, so the reason why I didn't like this film, I think this film was probably the worst film, is because this film it's a Steven Seagal movie. I really enjoyed The Beekeeper because the Beekeeper had Jason Statham murder all the conmen, and all the conmen should die. But in this film, it's just the girl gets kidnapped by a bunch of British TV side characters. Like all the main baddies in these movies are just side characters from British TV shows. Like, well, one of the main one is appeared in Unforgotten as the disabled husband of one of the main characters. Um, and then at some point, the main guy they're sending it to is Greg Davis's mate from Cuckoo. So, like, I'm not really entirely sure exactly why Jason Statham against a bunch of British TV stars. Like, wow. Um, but yeah, this is a Steven Seagal movie. By which I mean, at no point, this is why I don't like this film. I'm pretty sure the same thing with Beekeeper, but Beekeeper again, I care more about killing off all con men than I do about killing off fucking British TV stars. It's just that again, I keep going out of the fact that it's a Steven Seagal movie, the fact that no bad guys at any point give him any threat. There's no threat. There's no tension. There's no point to this film. Um, but credits where credits due. They do play Lupe Fiasco in this movie. Like this is the only film I've seen so far. I was called a working. It's so okay. It's so forgettable. I keep on calling it the working man when it's a working man. He's just It's not the. He's not the definitive. Jason Statham does not definitively work. He's just a working man. But yeah, the main problem in this movie is that nobody gives him any threat. There's no tension. There's no point. There's no worth. I didn't much like it. This is 22 out of the 22 films. Okay, technically speaking, 21 films I've seen this year in the cinema. Yeah, film I've seen this year, or the film in the cinema. But I um I watched it someplace else. I didn't watch it on the cinema screen. I watched it here. 21. So this is going to be a very quick um very quick reviews because there's 22 movies to get through, and I don't want to do like bloody like 2 hours, 3 hours of a movie. Um, you know what I mean? So far, 5 minutes in. Okay, I would say that the one main problem I had with We Live in Time is ironically the time. When I watched this movie, I didn't know where in time or space the movie was. Like at one point, the main female character was having like working as a chef, and in the very next moment, she was she gave she gave birth. Then the very next second, she was pregnant. Um, and it kind of like flipped in between the different time zones, but didn't actually say when the time frame was. So it was a movie where the main problem, the main reason I didn't like this film at all was because the time of it all kind of like, and they didn't state when the movie. At no point did they state when the movie was a beginning, middle, or ending. There's no because the movie kept on flipping all the times. So like as soon as it like fit into one barrier of time, it kind of like flipped next second, next cut to like 10 years in the future, or 10 years in the past, or 15 years in the past, or 20 years. And there was no real fluidity of it all. But I did okay. Okay, positive about this film. I didn't like again. That's a bit why I didn't really like it. I couldn't get into a movie. I could not get into this film because I could not understand when in time we live in time was. So that's my main problem with this film. If you could get to grips with the fact that it doesn't tell a story in a chronological or non-chronological or any form of logical matter, I think you might dig it. But personally, I really didn't like this film. It's better than A Working Man, um, because there's character, but I would really say probably don't watch this movie. That's why I ranked it 21 out of 22. Uh, there's not going to be that much, unless I want to talk about it, there's not going to be that much real, like, quantum of it. Like, there's not going to be a lot of enough thing I'm going to say about these films because this is, okay, this is another film. This is another, okay, I've got to start actually putting down, I've got to start actually, never mind, I'm going to start putting down the names of the movies I've actually seen. Okay, so this is Last Breath, not Deep Breath, and that's A Working Man, not The Working Man. I think it says a lot on these movies where I just don't actually. Why the hell is this recommended? Why is Channel 7 Cine TV commercial number 2, Volume 4? Why? I guess I want a 3 minute ad break. Here you go. Anyway, let's talk about. Okay, I came into Last Breath, I think like a bit like 20 minutes, like 15 minutes into it. I didn't know this movie was based on a true story. And also, this is one of the movies I watched when I was like just got back from work and I was very sleepy. Um, I legitimately thought them because I didn't know this was based on a true story. I knew nothing about this film coming into it. So when I saw the guy, there's a bit where this film kind of weird where I thought like one of the guys who I didn't know going into that the guy I was talking about was a main character like who hadn't survived. But you know the main character do you know those movies when they're like, I have a picture of my wife. I'm going to be retiring in 2 days' time. I'm going to be like 2 minutes from retirement. So I've got a beautiful wife, a beautiful house, and they just fucking die. I thought that's going to happen to um the guy who gets last breathed, the guy got last breath. Basically, the plot of this. I realize I haven't been talking much about plots of movies, have I? So the plot of let's go back to 22. Working Man. Well, that plot was Jason Statham's best friend, worker's daughter gets kidnapped. So Jason Statham kills a bunch of people. We Live in Time is, if I can recall correctly, because this is one of the first film I've seen this year. It's like 3 4 months ago, and I've watched 22 movies since. Um, We Live in Time is a movie where Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh meet up because Florence Pugh runs over Andrew Garfield because Andrew Garfield's gone through a divorce, and then it fluctuates and it takes time in a cookery competition, and there's a daughter, and it's between stuff and stuff. This one, sorry, just okay. Last Breath. The story of this is there's these three deep sea divers: Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and I think it just came up then, but the other guy. They need to go fix. They're in Scotland, so Mark Bonner is in this film. Which yeah, come on, let's cast Mark Bonner. It also stars the main baddie from A Working Man's wife from Unforgiven in this movie. I was watching this, I was like, I recognize that girl from somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, the plot of this movie is there's three deep sea divers. Two of them go down to fix, I think it's a North Sea drill area, and then one of them gets chopped in half. But he doesn't get. I thought he got chopped in half in the movie. He didn't. And he gets brought back up, and he's like dead. But then he doesn't die. And then it's like, wow, it's a true story about this guy who drowned and then came back from drowning to survive. Um, I think I watched this probably the last. This is one of those things probably very controversial based on the fact that when I watched it, I watched it when I was tired. I watched it not knowing on who any of the characters. I watched it because I came in a bit too late, and that's why I comes in a bit too late. But I think again, I rank this probably 20. Again, I should clarify: none of these films, which are near the bottom, are the worst films in the film list this year. There's no stinkers so far this year I've seen. These are just all very mediocre movies. Talking about mediocre movies, what about a movie that I really wanted to get into? This is the one movie that I didn't watch in the cinema. This is the one movie I watched. I'm gonna be honest with you because I think I should be honest with you. This is the one movie I watched online because I didn't think I would have time to catch it in the cinema because I didn't know there's any like timings which would fit me. So I was like, I should watch it because I really wanted to watch this movie alongside Heart Eyes. Love Hurts is nobody, but it's on Valentine's Day. Kehu Kwan plays a realtor who turns out used to work for his brother and used to be like a badass fighter. Kehu Kwan will put appearing in The Goonies too for some reason. So yeah, Kehu Kwan tried to kill Craven the Hunter's Ariana the Boys. Ariana the Boys needs to fire her agent because god damn machine stinkers. God damn, Ariana DeBoy is kind of like like a real like death sentence. If you want to make a good film, like um, I mean, I'd say like a critically good film because I kind of dug Craven the Hunter. I would have dug this film a bit more. I can't. Okay, Kale Kwan and Emma Dubai is kind of has like this conflict romantic I think of, so I don't really get because Kale Kwan is in his 50s and Emma Dubai is in her 30s. I did like this character, not her, not him. This character, probably my favorite. He played one of the assassins who was into poetry, and then he kind of goes into a relationship with one of the characters. Um, there wasn't much to. I think this movie should have been better than it was. As someone who really liked Nobody and someone who really likes Keo Kwan, I think this film would have been much more better than it needs to be. But I didn't. Again, it's a very mediocre movie, but that's not going to be bad per se. It's just far better films. I also found this film kind of mediocre. Um, First things first. I'm surprised it didn't sample. They should have. Let's go on my YouTube's. They should have had John Malkovich's character. uh, Eat the rich. Have you tried eating the rich? Have you tried devouring all the billionaires and all the millionaires and all the rich people, the people watching you? Have you tried once devouring them all? I think you should really learn to devour all the rich people. Yum, yum, yum. I am eating all the rich people. They should have had John Malkovich sample this. Um, Walking on broken glass being the Olympics, because if we can get to when he enters, because John Malkovich appears in this music video, like so. Oh, and he should have also done him sampling. Is it spicy? Yeah, that's not true. But yeah, John Malkovich appears in this one. It's not both in my love of some bases. He doesn't say this. He doesn't speak Vietnamese. Unless is this on Vietnamese subtitles? Yeah, isn't he doesn't say anything about this. This is wrong, so wrong, so wrong. But he should have played the song. Essentially, the plot of this movie is John Malkovich plays the biggest. It's kind of similar to the fact that Pulp came back this year, and so like how Pulp came back. If Pulp was like, "Yo," if Pulp was like, "Everyone, come join me, come join Jarvis Cocker and crew as we do a listening party for a new album," and it turns out, oh no, Jarvis Cocker is creepy. Oh, he's a psychopathic cult leader. Wait. So this movie is there's no real. Again, I found this movie to be a bit kind of. I wasn't a fan of the menu, so doing the menu, but worse is essentially Opus is the menu, but instead of a chef, it's a musician from the 1990s, and that's basically essentially the wherewithal. Um, Io Edebiri plays the main girl from the main character from the bear. Plays this news reporter who doesn't know anything's going on, and she gets basically invited to follow it, and it turns out she's the conduit. Um, I mean, John Malkovich is having a whale of a time as a main when John Malkovich finally becomes like evil and does his entire like goddamn monologue. That's when it becomes John's life. Even though in Caesar's request, Caesar kept just like the end spoiler, like ending of this film. If you know anything about Julius Caesar's request, then it kind of spoils how this movie ends. The music I felt was kind of good, considering it was created by Nile Rodgers and The Dream. But not much to say about this film. It is very much style of one of those eat for which types. I swear I'm going to talk about these films more and actually do more like a rundown and then there's no to say about them. This movie worked really well. I literally just saw this film last week, so I can talk about this film. So this film, I think I liked this film for the first two thirds, but the third act kind of fell off a cliff. Like trying to get to realizing who my beaver baddie is and doing all the different information and trying to use this one. Essentially, Drop was a movie made by Michael Landon from Happy Death Day and Freaky. He was supposed to do Scream, but then due to the Scream people being pro genocide, causing Melissa Barrera to leave, and Melissa Barrera left, meant that Jenna Ortega had to bounce, and that caused a whole bunch of stuff to fall down, which caused eventually the fella here, Chris London, fantastic director, to leave the business, leave the whole entire thing behind. Um, Essentially, a moot point of Drop, like she's trying to say here, is as a lady who single mom, and she finally goes on a Tinder date, but she realizes, as they say, there's someone in her house, and if she doesn't murder her date, then her son, as they say, her son dies, like this. And again, I liked it the first two thirds of this movie, her trying to get to grips with who it is, where it is, how to do it. But the ending bit, the final third of this movie is just stupid. The um main bad guy gives himself away because for no reason. Like, there's no reason why in the movie he does. It's just because this is the last 10 minutes of the movie, so we gotta fucking go pronto. Um, the main killer bad guy. I thought at one point, I thought at one point that the sister died, but the sister then just came back. No one. I don't want to go too far. I'm just going to spoil. My problem is of a grand scheme of things. It goes on the old Law and Order, like CSI and TV show approach, where the main baddie is the one named person you recognize. Um, but everything else, again, I really wanted to watch this movie, but in the third act kind of threw everything away. First two acts are fantastic, but the third act kind of jumps off a bridge, so I can't recommend it unless you want to watch it when it comes to Netflix or Amazon or whatever. But be warned, the third act is kind of dire. Here's a movie I didn't expect to watch this year. I remember these all movies which were released in cinemas in 2025 in UK. So it might say 2024, but in England it was released in cinemas in 2025. I I wouldn't mind seeing this movie like in native Mandarin, but this is a movie which I didn't know was directed. Essentially, this is like Die Hard in a zoo. All these people have been hired to steal a panda for a essentially for a rich kid's daughter, an Arab prince's daughter. Jackie Chan plays Jackie Chan. And one thing I didn't know until I watched this is that in China, Jackie Chan's most well known for his big nose. So everyone's like, wow, does Jackie Chan really have a big nose? A really big, grotesque nose? A bulbous nose that flies at you, that pierces your face when you see it. And they're like, yeah, the Jackie Chan is a big nose fella, a supremely huge fella. But what I like about this movie is essentially Jackie Chan plays Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan is sick and tired of being in action movies. Jackie Chan doesn't want to do action movies; he just wants to do other movies. So he goes and he's the host of a panda. So a panda's named after him, so he must save this panda. What I like about this movie is by the end of it, they are zero baddies. Um, like the bad guys turn out to be doing it for a good reason. Um, the good guys also good guys, and I'm assuming because it is a movie about a cute panda, there's no. It's not like as violent as a Die Hard movie. It's very much like a family-friendly Die Hard movie. There's a few Chinese like comedic bits, which I don't think fits with a Chinese thing because it's Chinese, but doesn't really fit from a Western one. But if I'm gonna watch and see it from a East Asian point of view, I can see why it exists. But this is also one of those movies where, again, majority of movies today, I can just say exists. There's a fair few good like action like stunt pieces, and it's good to see a Jackie Chan film in 2025. I would prefer to have seen this movie in the original Mandarin, but I saw it in dubbed. But the dubbing was, except for like one or two scenes, dubbing was really good. But again, Panda Plan is a movie which, if you want to watch, you can watch. It's one of those movies where like it's good to watch for free, but I can't really recommend watching it in like the cinema type deal. Now number 14, no, number 15 is fucking what, mate? You fucking Danny fucking Dyer. Danny, this fucking cunt. This fucking cunt right fucking here. Danny fucking Dyer. The fucking cunt of a fucking century. This fucking cunt, Danny fucking Dyer, plays a motherfucking fucking cunt who fucking has to fucking eh, be with his okay, has to be with his missus. But fucking he's a fucking cunt. He has to fucking fight people. He's a fucking beef of shit hell, motherfuckers. He has a fucking whack fuckers, doesn't time his fucking nephew and all his fucking friends are like, Danny fucking Dyer, you gotta fucking get drink, you gotta fucking do drugs and shit. And Danny fucking Dyer was like, I'm a cunt, but I can't fucking do that because I made a promise. And if I don't do this shit, then I'll go to fucking jail. And then fucking hell, guess what fucking happens? That's right. Just like in Siberia, a character, not Danny Dyer, but Danny Dyer's nephew is destined to essentially die. That's how the story kind of goes. Um, so essentially, basically, the fucking point of this movie is Danny Dyer plays a man who's over the hill. He he's got nothing to show for his life but drugs and violence, and he's stuck in this threshold between wanting to do right, wanting wanting to be there for his wife, wanting to be there for his son, but knowing deep down that his friends, his family, his the mess he's brought himself into is gonna drag him down. And essentially what the entire plot is about. It's it. I wasn't. I was surprised to see Danny Dyer actually act. Um, my favorite thing about this movie is when Danny Dyer just goes up to his missus and is like, "I'm a cunt," and then that's the entire scene. I would like to watch more of his other stuff because I did like this movie, but there's just movies I like better. That's why it's only 15. Like, I like the fact that Danny Dyer wasn't like he wasn't like his stereotypical Danny Dyer self. He did try and act, and it is a nice little character study over a guy who's got nothing. Like Saturday Night Fever, like Saturday Night Fever. This is, but if John Travolta was nowadays of the 70s, It's just that type of movie. It is a movie where like it is like Saturday Night Fever, but instead of going out to dance, goes out every Saturday to fuck shit up. Um, but you just try. Well, this movie is not nihilistic, but it is realistic in a sense. But yeah, we're going into a good bit now. I think. I don't know. I don't think so. I say that one, but I like this. I like these movies. I kind of do dig. Again, this was a movie that was released in England in 2025. It was released in England in 2025. And that's why I'm putting this in this list of movies and not the 2024 list of movies. If I was American, this would be 2024. I would say released in 2025 makes more sense. It did release in 2024 because this was all about the hullabaloo behind the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. So it's 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live and 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live makes more sense than the 49th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. Essentially, this entire movie is it makes shit up, like almost most movies do. But it's just the build up to the first episode of SNL, rehearsals, the arguments, trying to get into each other, trying to figure out what works and how to make shit work. I did like forgot the names of the people, but I did like the second in command who basically like just very sarcastic. The even if the people didn't look like the actors, they did play the actors well, and it was a nice little frenetic movie. It's a good movie to watch just like by yourself. Again, there's a movie I'm watching with students. There's not really much to say. This is a very nice, frenetically paced movie, which is saved by Nicholas Bourne. But all the cast is good. The cast does fit the character playing. I kind of admire the cast and actors of this movie. But it's a movie you can just watch on a Saturday night, like a. It's not really a theater movie. Now number 13. I'm gonna pause for a second. Gonna, let's go back. It's 33 minutes in, dude. Okay, so 33 minutes in, and I haven't even reached the top 10 movies I've seen this year. This is 13. And okay, I've got a lot to say about this movie. This movie, I think I can say a lot about. Because I know my thoughts on this movie. This movie is a teleplay, kind of like I forgot to mention like Drop, but this is also a movie which I think is a really good teleplay because like it just the exception of like the beginning of a movie and the very end of the movie, it all takes place in one set. There's a bunch of off screen via phone calls, like plots happening, but it takes place entirely in like one location between these three characters. So watching it as a tele, if you see it as a teleplay, which essentially is like a play for a day type of deal, like you know, it used to be back in the 1970s, 80s, and um, like BBC and whatnot. And they can truly tell what this movie is going for it. And also, there's nothing like unrealistic explosions or anything. It is very much just these three characters just bouncing off each other. The plot of a movie is essentially Topher Grace plays a like a slimy guy who is willing to play witness for prosecution. So he has to go travel from Alaska, where he's been caught, back to mainland America. Michelle Dockery is an FBI agent, and then Mark Wahlberg plays an assassin who's essentially hired to destroy the plane anyway. How it is a fantastic teleplay. I can kind of see why people didn't dig it because you're probably expecting a lot more action, but it's not an action movie. It is just a full-on play. As someone who's done multiple plays, I'm watching this and thinking, with the exception of a couple of like action scenes, you could really just turn this into a play, and that's why I kind of. I mean, I say I dug it, but it's only like in the top. It's only 13 out of the rest of the movie, so it's not in the top half. But yeah, it's a very nice. Okay, I've got not much else to say about, but in fact, it's a nice little breezy teleplay film. Um, this movie, I'm surprised I like this movie very um highly. I think I like this movie mainly because of A24's done a whole bunch of movies this year, haven't they? A24 likes just producing films. They made like a bajillion movies this year. Um, Death of a Unicorn is the new A24 horror comedy movie about Paul Rudd and Jenna. Paul Rudd plays a slimy lawyer, an asshole who brings his daughter Jenna Ortega with him to this rich family. So Paul Rudd can pretend that Jenna Ortega is close, so Paul Rudd can coax a big offer and have him be a partner of this huge pharmaceutical firm by with the father played by Paulie Grant, the mother Talione, and the son Will Poulter. Will Poulter, best bit of this entire movie. Like Will Poulter's entire character, I think, was the entire best bit of this movie, and it kind of and he's a baddie, so not being spoiled when says when he's gone, it kind of goes a bit worse. But essentially, Paul Rudd runs over a unicorn, which if you touch a unicorn, you'll get to become one with the TARDIS. Like if you touch or see it, it become you just join the Doctor Who opening credits. But what's interesting was the movie, like basically find out that the unicorn's horn can cure all illnesses. So you think, okay, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna sell it, highest bidder, and Jenna Ortega. Okay, Paul Rudd is kind of miscast as a complete and unlikable asshole, and Jenna Ortega is playing against type as a normal person. Her and Sokal from Barry. Um, what's Anthony Hopkins? Is that his name? Are the only two guys who are likable. And also, I'm gonna go slight spoiler for you. By the end of this movie, the title is a lie. But okay, I think I like this movie because I liked the gory bits and I liked Will Porter. But everything else, okay, the majority of these movies, and there's no real great films so far. They're all very mediocre, so there's not really much I can talk about it. 11th, so reaching the halfway point now of this, and it's Mickey 17, which is a movie which I want to talk about. Okay, so Mickey 17 is a movie about a guy. Rob Pattinson plays a guy called Mickey, and he's entirely just his entire job is he gets cloned, then they kill him, and then they figure out what he can do to get killed or not. It's by ESA's Dr. Parasite Bong Joon-ho. What Pattinson's in it? Uh, what Pattinson's in it? Stephen Yeun's in it. Mark Ruffalo's in it as a president who wants to kill people or kill animals. So what Pattinson's character basically falls in love with a girl, and then for some reason I don't know why, but like when the two Mickey clones meet up each other, there's two of them, and the the the, the girlfriend doesn't want to share, and it's like okay, but there's two of them, you can just share. So playing through clones. One of the clones is more cocky, more angry. Like about this movie, what Patterson plays all the characters different. Essentially, the reason why Rob Patterson signed up to do this is because if he doesn't, a bunch of loan sharks will horrifically murder Naomi Aki. That's it. I think all these characters are done fun, and I did find the main. I did find the main alien type of deal is kind of like cute, and I did like the fact that Tim Key's in this movie, and Tim Key plays a major role. Again, I'm a huge fan of it when uh British. I do like seeing British like guys just randomly show up in unexpected places. Oh yeah, I forgot it's American. It's the American channel, not an English channel. The best bit of MX-17 is Rob Pattinson of it all. Like he does make this movie. I mean, it's not a controversial opinion saying that Rob Pattinson is one of the best actors of this of our generation. But it is kind of cool just watching this type, and also just watching a unique movie. If you need more unique films out there, I don't know if Mickey 17 was based on a comic or a pre-existing book. Let me take a look. Yeah, based on a book. But the whole creepers of it all is cute. Um, the relation, Naomi and Rob make a realistic couple. Um, and here's a movie which I forgot. I mean, probably also was like I spilt my drink, so I spent like 20, 30, 40 minutes in the cinema, like cleaning up myself. But on the halfway point, that means there's gonna be 10 more movies left to talk about, and let's talk about them. Number 10 of all the movies I've seen so far is The Amateur. The Amateur was a movie released just recently, um, starring Rami Malek as a guy who works for the CIA, and he's just basically like a normal dude. And then his wife is found. Wife gets kidnapped and murdered. Well, gets taken hostage and murdered. So now he's gotta take vengeance on all the people who's done all the crimes. Mm. I don't know whether or not to go into this one. Spoilers for this movie. I'm not a. I don't get why his Malik's character kills off all the henchmen. But when it comes to, like the main baddie, he's like, "Whoopsie daisy, I didn't want to actually kill you anyway. I just want to you to feel something. Anyway, I'm gonna yeah. When I was talking about this to you, what I actually did was I actually decided to take us to Finland. So jokes on you. Finns hate you, and they're like, well, no, how could you bring me to Finland? Um, hmm. This movie did remind me of Hitman. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. John Bernthal just appears in like two scenes in the movie, but it does remind me a bit of Hitman. Only if Agent 47 didn't want to like murder, like wasn't a murderer, had to grow into it. But I also went on to like this scene I think was kind of weird because like he's like I don't want to kill the main bad guy, but he fucking fled Madrid. I would say I do like the fact that he does blow up Paris at some point because I mean that's a good thing to do. But part of that one is very much of a style of it's a I did like a film because the film reminded me of Hitman, and I think any movie that reminds me of Hitman is fantastic. The video game series, not a film. But when you watch, you can think of something like, oh, it is kind of like, wow, I didn't know that one. Oh, the wife has a very famous role. There was a bit of piece of the like film where like the wife returned as a spectre, as a ghost. I am going to now do something completely different. I'm going to talk about the most relaxing movie, well, that most relaxing film I've ever seen. Sylvanian Families, the movie trailer. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I watched this movie because I saw it on the film listings, and I was like, sure, why not? It was even out on Minecraft movie, and I was like, why? I don't know if this movie even exists. So I thought, let's just watch a movie I didn't even exist and trying to see it goes there. Basically, Sylvanian Family as a movie is based on the toys of the same name, and the plot of the movie is the main character wants to get a present for, or make a present for her mom, and going into I didn't know it was based on Japanese one, but going into it is very they all do kind of speak kind of like Japanese people, but in English. So like, hello mother, hello mother, mother Maven, mother Maisie, it's your daughter Clarence, your daughter Clarence, daughter of your mother Maisie. It's me, Clarence, your daughter. And then it's like, oh, daughter Clarence, yes, it is your mother Maisie. Your mother Maisie's there. Yes, okay. And I kind of like speak very like formally like that. So I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, cool, this is Japanese originally, and it just turned out to be the case. Um, again, what's the movie? It's super relaxing. I think I saw this film in the same time as Ava Number Eight or a working man, which is a really no. I watched no, sorry, no, that's a lie. I watched this on the same day as Death of a Unicorn, which is a really weird um tonal shift. Go and watching Death of a Unicorn and can watch this. And the voice acting for the movie is really good. I don't know who it is because they just use the Japanese people, and it's not for Japanese people because they're all speaking English, and he's not Japanese. But again, yeah, that's what I watched. I didn't know what was going to happen in this film. I didn't know what plot. Didn't know who these characters were. I'm not the target audience for this movie. I don't know if there is a target audience for this movie. Um, but I watched it, and that was the main downside. I kind of slept through the ending of the movie because it was so relaxing. Because I only had like 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep the week before, due to my new job. And so I was watching it, just kind of fell asleep near the end. But again, like most of probably a very underrated film. Don't think that many people will be talking about this movie. Um, I don't know if any of you have watched this movie, but yeah, like if you ever want to watch a relaxing movie with yourself, or with your family, with your kids, I would highly, highly recommend watching Savannah Families, the movie. Okay, dokie. Now let's talk about something that totally is not um uh exciting, like relaxing, not exciting, relaxing. Another Kane is a movie about a guy who can't feel pain. Nathan Kane, played by Jack Quaid, who formed in Sea Slade. I don't know what I'm going to do this in mind for. I'm not going to do it all the time, though. I'm going to stop now, so don't have a cow. Basically, the plot of this movie, you'll be pleased to see, as you can see. No, let's do that again. The plot of this movie takes place in a bank robbery, and then when the main character's a love interest gets kidnapped, he must try and save the day whilst also getting into scraps. And I'm gonna stop the rhyming because the rhyming is all slanty and stuff. So let's just talk about what this is. What I like about this movie is it reminded me of a script I wrote. Um, this bit did, and also the fact that Jack Quaid is uh the best thing about Jack Quaid is that he's a supremely likable actor. He's supremely charismatic actor. He's supremely good for like people just to sit by and just watch. Um, so yeah, the plot of the movie is Jack Quaid plays a guy who can't feel any pain. He falls in love, and then the girlfriend gets kidnapped by bank robbers, so he's got to save his girlfriend. He doesn't care about her money or anything. He just wants to know where the girlfriend is. And I did like this movie. It's a very nice, quippy, quick little action film. Nice little cast, everyone. I wish and this will also be what I'll talk about in my number two film of the year so far. I wish I'll stop. I wish people would stop casting Jack Quaid and being like, really, Jack Quaid? Did you think of a shot woman who's equal, if slightly less sexy than you? And I was like, bro, he's Jack Quaid. If you want to cast someone who you're surprised will get like a girlfriend, cast Cole Mooney, my dude. But don't cast Jack Quaid as someone who has like trouble getting a girl. He's funny, he's charismatic, he's cool, he's Jack Quaid. I dig him. Novocaine is a very good film. I recommend watching to everyone. Almost as good as Daisy the Great. I don't know what. Live in Kansas City, Missouri, April 12th, 2025. 237 views. B 238. Oh shoot. Yes, I'm 238. I don't even know what Steven is. Um, I don't know why saying my nearest event is in New York, New York. It's not. I'm in England, England. My hands are still shaking, baby. Okay, let's talk about movie. It's the first movie I saw in cinemas this year. Uh, let's talk about Nosferatu, which is at number 7. There's six movies left. Okay, so let's talk about Nosferatu. Let's talk about why I like this and why it's so early. I saw this movie because I had to. I think like the first week of January. As soon as I left the cinemas, my friend Kane texted me like, "Yo, baby, we're all gonna go watch Nosferatu. Let's fucking go." So I was like, "Okay, I guess watch Nosferatu twice." Um, it's a remake of the original 1920, I think 1910s or 1920s silent movie where basically they wanted to make a Dracula movie, but they couldn't own the rights to Dracula movie, so they just made their own Dracula movie, just changed a few names around. And the plot of this movie is Lily Rose Depp, I think, is the main character's actress's name. Her and Nicholas Holt, they're a living couple. But then when Nicholas Holt gets sent to a that castle in Germany, Bavaria, finds out there's demon after him, a vampire, that's what I'll do. And he wants his wife. I was surprised coming into the movie. Again, I saw this movie like a week or so after watching Craven Hunter. And this was the first movie I saw in the cinemas. And one of us who saw last year's was Craven Hunter. So it was really interesting watching this movie and seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson being the heart of the movie. Like, straight up, Aaron Taylor Johnson was the heart of this film. And it's a movie that preys on the sexuality. It's a movie that gets pretty dark. Like Nosferatu is a downright monstrous movie, which you kind of need to be, because for the longest time vampires have been seen as cruel, so you kind of want to make vampire be as cruel and as evil as it needs to be. This brings vampires back to its original menace, especially Nosferatu and his essential molestation of everyone he touches. It reminds me of Devils and Englishmen by Thomas Dolby. And I watched it once, I adored it. Watched it again, also adored it. But here's a good little slasher film, which I ranked number six among you so far. I might. Oh, Bill Skarsgård's in the movie. I guess he's playing a good guy in one. So Heart Eyes is a rom-com slasher where essentially just again like a guy in a Heart Eyes mask kills anyone in love. But these two guys, they're not in love. Bum, 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 bum. So don't you say it. Bum, bum, bum. Just a silly thing. I would say that I watched this with Kane, my best friend. It was just us two bros watching a rom com. What you gonna do about it, sucker? I would say the main downside about this film is that it does highly waste Devon Sawa. Like Devon Sawa pisses through and just they do nothing with him. They just kill him off. And like, okay, cool. Why waste Devon Sawa? Know what I mean? I did like a the plot twist at the end about who the killers were, and also like the fact that the killers just didn't care. You're just randomly stabbing random people at the end of it. But in this movie, it has to try to find line between being a slasher and being a rom com. You don't want to go too romantic in a slasher, otherwise horror fans are like, "What's the point?" But also don't want to go too gory in this type of movie because this movie is a rom com as well. You want to take a girl on a date and just have her to watch like fucking like Terrifier 3, like you know what I mean? So I always think you need to watch this movie in the grand scheme of who it's rooting for. I think it's rooting for a whole bunch of ones for murderers, not murderers. It's for horror movie fans. It's for rom com fans. Same thing. And number five, we'll do a quick break. Okay, okay, so that's the meeting stuff out. I pause it, and now we're on into number five. Ramonga. Ramonga is a movie about a man who has this toy monkey, and then when the toy monkey stops, someone dies in an accident. And let me talk about this movie for a second. Wait a second. Okay. What I enjoy about this movie is the skittish like ways leads to death, kind of like here, Final Destination Bloodlines. Each accident must get built to it. I also like the fact that I like the fact that they build to it and explain why it is, and they also explain who goes to it and where. I think what I liked about this movie is, I guess, I did like how the joint the thing that like they actually do build a trait to it. They do actually make the monkey version, and I also love the fact how it's written, directed, made, created. Um, this character, your priest's favorite character because he knows what's going on. The monkey really enjoy it. Ah, fire, fire still, and I've talked about movies like over an hour now. Number four is Dogman. I might just kind of skip through all of these briefly. Um, here we go. Peacock. Let's go. I might actually talk about the rest of these movies in a separate video because getting it's an hour long. This video is, so I might do a brief bit of movies now and then just the top four movies. I might do in a separate video when I'm kind of had good night's sleep. So just so you know, I'm gonna do in order, and this is gonna be the list of the movies that I've done it. But I'm also just gonna go straight forward. I'm gonna talk about more tomorrow when I've had a bunch of sleep. So there's been 22 up to 5. I'll do the shorter video, just be talk about Dogman, Bridget Jones, Companion, and Flair all tomorrow. And then on Friday, I'll do 12 Lace Super Assault. I'm only rank from 1 now to 22. Until then, see ya.